I've already covered the Philips S9000 Prestige, the Philips i9000 Prestige and the Philips i9000 Prestige Ultra. Now we're going to go back a couple of shavers and I'm reviewing the Philips i9000 X9000. In 2025 Philips introduced the i9000 lineup of shavers and the flagship model is the Philips i9000 Prestige Ultra. Naturally what we're going to get with this shaver, the X9000, is it's not going to perform quite as well and not going to have as much features as the Prestige model and the Prestige Ultra model. However, it's not going to cost quite as much either. I don't really want to go into much detail about the differences between the i9000 models and the S9000 Prestige. It will just take up too much video time. However, there will be comparisons coming up, video comparisons soon. So do stay tuned, stay in touch with the website shavingadvisor.com, where I also do the reviews for these shavers, or subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification when the comparison videos are coming up. In this video I'm going to do my usual and share the pros and cons of the features as I've experienced and my views of them. We'll also do a demo shave. I've used this for a few weeks now shaving, but I'll do a demo shave with you guys so you guys can see how it performs, and we'll wrap it up with a little bit of feedback. My reviews are generally quite long and that's because I try to give an in-depth review of these shavers. However, in the description I put timestamps, so there's links there where you can jump to certain sections of the video. If you just want to see the shave, jump onto the shave and you know, you've got a couple of minutes watching that or so yeah, in the description some timestamps. My thoughts are it'd be useful to call this the X9000 to kind of separate it from the other 9000s, the i9000 Prestige, the i9000 Prestige Ultra. There has been some confusion between them, especially when they first came out, people searching for them on Google, so I think better to call this the X9000. About the cost, so currently in the USA this costs around about 100, or the costs begin at around about 150 US dollars, and in the UK around about 140 pounds. Prices will differ or vary based on what accessories the shaver comes with, but we can consider 150 US dollars, 140 pounds as the starting price. Now that's considerably cheaper than what the i9000 Prestige and the Prestige Ultra is. We also have to consider the costs of replacement cutters. These cutters, the part number for these are SH91, and these should be replaced approximately every 2 years according to Philips. Mileage will vary based on your hair growth, the coarseness of your hair and how frequently you use the shaver heads. But these in the USA for the set of these cost around about $60, and in the UK around about £50. The model I have here is the X9000/10. What comes after the slash is usually about what accessories it comes with. This is pretty much a standard one. It comes with a travel case and a little charging stand. But I didn't get the one with the cleaning pod because I've got plenty of cleaning pods back at home, so I just did not need another one. But in regards to accessories, I do like to always have a travel case. It's just useful stowing the shaver away, and I do like having the cleaning pod, the quick clean pod. However, like I said, because I already have some, I don't need one. For yourselves, you might want to consider having a cleaning pod. I have done a separate video on the cleaning pod, so I'll put a link in the description for that as well, so I don't have to cover too much information in this video. Let's get into the main features. So the body of this shaver is quite squarish. It kind of reminds me of the 5000 series, the 7000 series, and the older 9000 series. It's quite squarish, but it does fit into the hand pretty well. It's not quite as a snug fit as what we get with the Philips S9000 Prestige or the Prestige i9000 Prestige Ultra. It's not quite a snug fit, but it does fit in the palm of the hand well enough. And around these sides we get a rubberized grip, so there's plenty of grip there. And it tapers down towards the bottom, which I think that kind of helps. The design helps with holding it. The feature I like on these Philips is this movable head, so it moves in all directions, which is useful for shaving along the various contours of the face. As you'll notice, I've just pushed that button, pushed that top cap open quite easily. That's because it's got a touch button design where the head flips open. That's also a feature I like because it's useful for when we need to clean the shaver heads or replace the cutters. These shaver heads, they also flex in, so this also helps with all the contouring going along the jaw area, the chin area, and maintaining skin contact. But also these blades, each blade also flexes in very slightly, and these blade heads on the i9000 lineup, these have been improved somewhat. The bottom of these taper down slightly better not quite as thick as the older style ones. And then also the bottom section here, around here, is more rounded. They've rounded that off. They're still kind of angular shape, but not quite as angular and as sharp and thick as the older models. But they're not quite as round as the models that came before. The previous ones, they was properly rounded. The whole head of this can be pulled off, clipped off, and clip back on, and that's for if we have a bundle that comes with any attachments, we can put any other attachments on here. That's easy enough to take off and put on. On the back of the shaver, we get a built-in trimmer which we flip out. We just slide this button down, that flips out a built-in trimmer. Not the greatest trimmer, you know, it's not going to be as good as a dedicated trimmer. However, it can help trimming or cut in the sideburns or some hairs that are difficult to get underneath the nose area. It's kind of a bit rattly. I always find these on the Philips that when they're powered or opened, they're quite rattly. There's a sound of the shaver. If I open this, you should hear that rattle. Yeah, I don't know why that has to rattle that much, but anyway, that doesn't affect how it trims. Like I said, it's not the greatest trimmer, but it will help. Now, charging, it takes around about an hour to fully charge, which is pretty standard among most shavers. But we only get around about 15 minutes runtime. A lot of other shavers we get above this shaver, we'll get 60 minutes, but it's only 10 minutes difference. It's not major, is it? We can also do a 5 minutes quick charge if the batteries run flat. And we need to complete our shave. We can charge it up for 5 minutes and finish our shave off. The shaver can be connected via Bluetooth to what's called a Groomtribe App, which can help to guide your shaving. However, I won't go into much details about it. I'm not a huge fan of that type of technology. Some of you guys may be a fan of technology like that. However, I'm not going to go into too much detail with that in the video. If you want more detail, I'll cover a little bit more in the website review on the website shavingadvisor.com, where there'll be a link in the description to that review. It has a simple LED screen. It's not quite as advanced as the i9000 Prestige and Prestige Ultra. However, it's good enough. But for the charging indicator, we just get 3 segments. So we've got 3 segments. Once it goes down to 1 segment, it's going to be time to recharge the battery soon. There are a few other LED indicators which tell us when we need to clean the shaver and change the cutters. And also, if we press and hold the button for a few seconds, this will activate the travel lock on the shaver, which I really like to have on a shaver. Travel lock is useful. Then if we press the button and hold it for another few seconds, this would deactivate the travel lock. We get a USB cord with the shaver, but we don't get an adapter. We have to use our own adapter. I have plenty knocking around the house anyway, so that's not an issue. I guess some of you guys do too. It does not have a USB Type-C connector, which some guys might like. Some guys kind of think these shavers should be all having Type-C. Maybe the Philips and other companies have got a reason for having their Pacific one, but it's a Pacific attachment head for Philips. It can be used shaving wet or dry. It's fully waterproof. I have used it shaving wet with shaving cream lathered up. However, I don't get much extra benefit from shaving wet. I do prefer to do a dry shaver, electric shavers. However, if you need to, it works fine wet shaving. To manually clean the shaver, if you don't have the cleaning pod, it's pretty easy. What I usually do is I flip open the top cap and I'll blow out any of the debris inside and brush it all out. The main debris. Then I put a couple of blobs of antibacterial soap within the shaver cutters inside there. Then I put a splash of water on them, and then I let the power the shaver on for around about 10-15 seconds. Let that soap and the water run through it, and then give it a good rinse off. Then after that, give it a little bit of a shake and let it sit on the side, and then it will soon dry out. Give it a couple of hours or so. Speed up the drying process as well. You can give it a good shake. You know, don't shake it and rattle the top head off it, but give it a good shake. And you can dab it with a bit of tissue as well, and that will remove some of the excess water to speed up drying time. As part of maintenance as well, all of these 3 cutters can all be taken out individually. Now it's worth doing this at least once a month and taking each one out individually and giving them a good clean. They're very easy to take out. Once you open the top cap, inside there, each of these cutters, they have an arrow, and we just turn it anti-clockwise to undo it, then put it back in and turn it clockwise to lock it back in. What I usually do is take one cutter at a time, replace that, just so I don't get anything mixed up with it. So that just about covers the main features. So what I'm going to do now is grab myself a mirror and get a shave on, do a demo shave. Just to mention before I shave, I don't always shave in circular motions. I'll shave up and down against the grain. I'll do some circular motions, but I don't just stick to only circular motions. I mention that because some guys have an issue when I'm not doing circular motions. However, in the description as well, I'll put a link to a video of me testing out and shaving in circular motions and shaving with the pattern of my growth. So I'm on about 3 days of growth here. This is a little bit over 3 days of growth. This is the maximum I'd want to shave this shaver, because I have experienced over 3 days of growth that these cutters will pull some hairs. This shaver gets on much better with myself with 2 days of growth. However, I like to have a little bit of something going on my face so you guys can see something being removed. But do keep in mind that this is kind of about the maximum, especially because I have quite coarse growth. So yeah, it makes a shave have to work hard as well. So let's fire it up and get on with the shave. Well, it's fairly comfortable. My skin has adjusted to this shaver now, because previously I was using the i9000 Prestige, then the Prestige Ultra, and the Prestige Ultra is super comfortable shave. And so when I first started to use this, it felt quite uncomfortable compared to the i9000 Prestige Ultra. However, now I've used it a good few times, my skin has adjusted, and I've adjusted to it, and it's not noticeable at all, and it feels very comfortable. So I got no hair tugging there at all. I think that might help when initially with the first pass by doing circular motions just on the first pass, just to avoid that hair tugging. I've noticed that is one benefit of circular motions, and I was really against circular motions. If any guys watch my videos, you know that I was pretty much against them. However, I have found use for them now. Not for the whole shave, but for the first pass. And you'll see that going along the contours, like the jaw area, it just glides along them easily, and the chin area, this flexi head and the flexi blades all help that helps it to contour very well. Definitely underneath the nose need to be going up and down against the grain. Circular motions there are just not gonna, will not suffice. Now under the nose can be slightly tricky. I can feel a few hairs there, but if I just move my nose across like that, that's it, clears it easy. On the other side as well. Right, okay, there's the initial first pass done, so there's quite a few patches there. as expected. And what I'm going to do now is be a bit more strong with the shaver and shave against the grain, and in straight lines. I say straight motion, straight lines. A little bit slower, more pressure. But if you're a person that gets irritation, or you just only like to stick to circular motions, then please do. But I do this because I want to get as close as I can, and I know the pattern of my hair growth, not skin growth, the pattern of my hair growth. And my skin can handle it. But if you're more sensitive to irritation, then you've got to go lighter. Skin pulling always helps, skin stretching rather, helps to get it closer. That's it, we're getting a good shave now. I'm pulling the skin taut here because I can feel there's like a sandpaper feel there. So I need to pull the skin taut and try and shave against that grain if I want it closer. It's very noticeable to me that I'm spending more time shaving than what I would do with the i9000 Prestige Ultra, i9000 Prestige, plus the Prestige S9000. I'm spending much more time trying to get to the same level of closeness of shave. I'd say we're nearly done there. Yeah, I've got a few leftover hairs there. Let's see if I can remove those. Yep, that's sorted. On this side, no, not really. Yeah, a little bit there. My chin has got a bit of a sandpaper feel. Okay, well, I'd say we're just about done there. Job done. Okay, so post shave, that's the finish. That's a fairly close shave. Like I said in the demo shave, it took a little longer than what the S9000 Prestige and the other i9000 models, how long they take to get a good finish. However, it gets there. It deals with any leftover hairs, with minimal leftover hairs. It deals with them very well, and any flat line hairs. So I guess all in all, it's not a bad shave. It's most definitely a step up from the 5000 series and 7000 series Philips, and then it's a step down from the i9000 Prestige. So I guess Philips has placed this shaver, correctly, and it's probably priced around about right as well. But that's about it, guys. I will be doing some comparisons between this and the other 9000 models, and the video for that will be live pretty soon. What I would recommend if you're unsure about this shaver is maybe take a look in the description at a link I'll put to a roundup of the best shavers that I've used, and I kind of rank them of what are best and who they're best for, and the kind of price range as well. You might find that useful. There'll be a link in the description for that. If you haven't subscribed as yet and you want to stay up to date with the latest videos that are coming out, do hit the subscribe button. You'll get a notification once the video is live. Also in the description there'll be a link to my newsletter, and that newsletter I send out once a month at the beginning of each month to go back on all of the videos and reviews that I've done on the website shavingadvisor.com. So it's worth connecting with, subscribing to that, and you'll just get an email. You don't have to try and keep track of anything. Check out on the email once a month. Go, oh right, okay, I want to take a look at that. It should make life easier for you. Well, not really make life easier, just make seeing my videos and my reviews a little bit easier.